don't want people to fail and then they blame RCM. No. RCM is a college which wants to make a mark in East Africa, would want a situation where every student passes. Every student must pass. Must pass. Great. Great. So you don't have really much of a choice. All right. Thank you so much. Great. Great. Angelica, you're raising your hand again? No, you can talk later, don't worry. Give us today, we finish here. We need to finish 2 things. All assignments must be done. BD assignments are not like other assignments. The other subjects you could run away from assignments and then you pass. BD assignments must be done, and the students must belong to some discussion group. Must belong to some discussion group. Have you guys, I saw a big debate yesterday, I could not just interject. Have you guys started your discussions? Of course, not yet, because there is nobody who has come to ask for the Zoom links. Not yet, because nobody has come to ask for the Zoom logins. When are you planning to start? When are you planning to start? When are you planning to start? So, and then you give me the names of the team leaders. Tomorrow. Tomorrow, what time? Tomorrow, what time? 8 p.m. Great. So by 8 p.m., I'll be able to procure a special Zoom meeting for you. I'll procure a special Zoom account for you so that you can be using that Zoom account for revision and record your videos. Record your videos because there are areas where students will really be able to even do better than Mwalimu. Especially these areas on a few basics here and there. At times, students have better discussions than what we do here. All right, and I can see we are 168, which is very, very encouraging. Please get this opportunity to call all your friends. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do we have any student here who has ever taken a mortgage or who is paying a mortgage at the moment? Any student who has a mortgage, perhaps on a property they are living in, which they took on a mortgage model. So they mortgaged that model. They mortgaged, in this case here, that house, gave it as collateral, and then they got a loan. They're paying until you finish paying the loan. That is when you, great. At least I can see 1 student here. 2 students, great, great, great. So on average, the mortgages you are paying, are they 25-year mortgages or 30-year mortgages? They may not be exactly the same with KWFT. So 23 years, great. 20 years have no mortgage, but giving mortgage loans. Great. Great. So you're giving to everyone else except yourself, Cheryl. Are you a good lady? Are you a good girl? Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at an example here. So we have a mortgage loan. We have a mortgage loan. A mortgage loan, which is just modest here to give you just a modest house, 25 million. And then number of years. NOE stands for number of years, 25 years. And then we have a rate of interest. Mortgages, of course, they can't give you at market rates unless they want to kill you. Rate of interest, it should be about 10%. And if it's company negotiated, if they are company negotiated loan mortgages, they'll be about 6%. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are given here, mortgage is 25 million. Number of years, in this case here, we have 25. Rate of interest is 10%. And then, of course, in this case here, the installments would be monthly installments. Monthly installments. And then you are required here to do, you are required to do a loan amortization schedule. A loan amortization schedule. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will have to agree. We'll have to agree that you will give Mwalimu exactly 5 minutes where you're not writing anything, you're only looking at my screen. Within those 5 minutes, I'll move with very high speed. I do everything. And then, of course, with that high speed, you're not be able to understand anything. Then when we will be doing it together now, when we'll be doing it, when you guys will be doing it, I'll now come slowly and pick up everybody. Because I would want you to see the end. You know, when you see the end, it will be able to inspire you guys to really appreciate this. So you are not writing. Are we in agreement? You are only giving me your eyes, you know. You're only giving me your eyes. You're not writing anything. We are not writing anything, really. Okay. Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have. You see, the installments are what here, they are monthly. So meaning that it will be very important for you to come here and give me the monthly parameters. Give me the monthly parameters. Like now give me, in this case here, number of months. Who can tell me how many months do we have here? The norm. Norm stands for number of months. Every year has 12 months. So number of months, ladies and gentlemen, here will be this 25 times 12. Because each year has 12 months. Each year has 12 months. Then give me the interest rate per month. Monthly interest rate. Interest rate. So I forgot to mention that this is rate of interest per annum. I just come here. I just indicate here. This is per what year? Per annum. Now I want this to be a monthly interest rate. A monthly interest rate. So this monthly interest rate, ladies and gentlemen, this is what is going to happen. If this is for a whole year, so I'll take this one here, which is for a whole year, and then I divide this by 12. I divide this by 12. So now I'm sorted out, ladies and gentlemen. I can see in this case here, I have number of months, and then I happen to be having what year? Monthly interest rate. Even if it is like this, just leave it like that. No worries. Now, from there, what do I do? I'll come here and I calculate what we call the PMT. I will come here and I calculate what we call the installment. The installment is what we call the PMT function. PMT function. So I should be able to come here and say equals to activate. And then I say PMT. Once this PMT comes up, I'm able to pick the rate. Remember the rate here is monthly, yeah? That one, comma. Number of periods, there are 300, comma. From there, we have a present value. We are borrowing 25 million. We are borrowing 25 million. And then, of course, you can see these other figures are in square big brackets. These square brackets means that they are not mandatory fields. I can do without them. So what I need to do is to come and close brackets there, and then I enter. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting in this case here this figure, but I don't want it to be negative. There is something that I told you that you need to do whenever you get, of course, always PMT will always be negative. And if you want to kill this negativity, what you need to do is to come here immediately after equals before PMT. Immediately in the formula bar, before PMT after equals, just put your cursor there. Now you can see your cursor is dancing like this. Now please negate it. Put a negative there to cancel that other negative. Remember, negative and negative will give me positive. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. So I'm able to get this. If I don't like this dollars, we say it come here. You can see it's showing currency. You can just remove this currency and put a normal number. Put a normal number or simply say general, like that. So I can see their charts there. I'll be able to repeat, don't worry. But for now, what am I doing? I'm trying to do this with speed so that I can be able to come back and ensure that everybody is now able to understand. Now, please listen and listen to me very well. So I will start in this case here with my amortization schedule. So then I have the year. Are you able to remember the next column title? Is there somebody who can remember the next column title after year? After year, my next column title will be what year? After year, my next column title will be opening. So we have here the opening balance. Opening balance. After that, ladies and gentlemen, opening balance always attracts interest. Always, it will attract interest. After that, ladies and gentlemen, we have in this case here, this guy paying us back the installment. The installment amount, installment amount, installment amount. After that, ladies and gentlemen, we have our closing B. Our closing B. our closing B. So these are our titles here. These are our titles. I can make them bold to make them look nice. Those are our titles, ladies and gentlemen. Now, so these titles, you can see others, like now this one is not fitting, it is not fitting. So whenever they don't fit very well, I'll simply come here. I just keep on increasing the size of mine. I'll be able to show you that. Now, remember, now here we are paying on a monthly basis. So this year is misplaced. I should have said year months, because we are paying these installments on a monthly basis. So we are running all the way from month number 1 to month number 300. Now I can't write this physically like we were writing yesterday. Now here I have to introduce the concept of sequence. So come here and they say equals sequence. It's there, sequence. It is here. So how many rows downwards do I want to do? I want to do 300 rows. So I will say 300. Like I don't even have to close nothing. Once I do like that, if I say here control down arrow, it takes me to 300. I've been able to write number 1 to 300 using the sequence. Don't worry about my speed. I'm coming back. I only want you to see the whole picture, and then I'll come to, I'm not teaching you. This I'm doing it for my sake. And then I'll be able to teach you after you guys get to see. Now, from there, ladies and gentlemen, I'll come and pick the opening balance. What do you know about this opening balance, Oye? Opening balance is the loan you are borrowing today. It is your present. So this one here, the mortgage loan, the one that you're taking today. All right. Then I say tab. Interest amount. What do I know about interest? Interest is always pegged on the opening balance. So I will take the opening balance times the monthly interest rate. This monthly rate of interest will never fluctuate. The monthly rate of interest will always remain the same. The monthly rate of interest will always remain the same, hence the need of it being frozen, hence the need of us freezing it. Is there somebody who is able to remember the formula for freezing these permanent things? Permanent things shall be frozen. Is there somebody who is able to remember the formula of freezing these permanent things? So it is function F4. Function F4 like that. We freeze by putting the dollars. You can also put the dollars here before H and before this one. You can also put like that, dollars. So we freeze permanent things. And then we come and say tab. We go to the next one. So the installment. The installment is also going to be constant. So the installment is what you have taken here, and it's going to be constant, hence the need for us to freeze it. So to freeze it, it's function F4. There are some computers you don't have to press function. There's some computers you can just press F4 alone. Then you go straight away to the next one, which by saying tab there. Then we'll come and say equals. You take the opening to get closing. You shall take the opening, the plus. You will come and take interest here, and then you say minus. You will come and take what here? The installment. The installment reduces the loan balance. So anytime you want to get closing balance, you take opening balance. I don't know why Maggie is playing around with my Excel. I don't know. So you take, in this case here, the opening balance, you add the interest, and then you subtract the installment. That's how we get closing balance. Then I say enter. When I say enter, ladies and gentlemen, like this, I'll be able to come and put, remember what I close with here is what I open with here. So I'll be able to come and open, take this closing to be the opening for month number 2. I'll be able to work around with these decimals. Yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, after that, you will come straight away here and levy interest on this opening balance. So you say times, ladies and gentlemen, the rate of interest is here. Monthly rate of interest, it has to be frozen. Function F4. Function F4, you say tab. Installment, ladies and gentlemen, we know the installment. It is this one, and it has to be frozen. It has to be frozen. So function F4. Then you go to the closing balance. Closing balance for this one, we'll take the opening. We say plus. Interest always decreases the loan obligation. So plus the interest here. And then we say minus the installment. Minus the installment. And then you should be able to say, ladies and gentlemen, there, enter. Once you finish that, now you need to come and basically highlight the whole of these. Row number 2 alone. You highlight row number 2 alone. The other method, you can highlight row number 1 as well. So this one, we are highlighting row number 2 alone. And then remember, we have the white hair, the one that is dancing there. And we have this other black at the corner there. So the black one, you take it at the corner. The one for out of field. And once it is here at the out of field, you should never try to drag. If you drag down going to 300, you'll miss things here. When it is here, you simply, this is an angry rabbit. Angry rabbit, you will easily make it move forward by beating it twice from its behind. So in this case here, you will come and double click twice, like that. And then this thing will be able to amortize itself. If you say control down arrow, you'll be able to see it is amortizing itself, in this case here to this 0. Of course, if I come and just reduce these decimals, if I reduce these decimals, you will see automatically this thing is all about like that. So it becomes 0. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen. I know you have not understood anything, I'll be able to repeat. But before I repeat, please listen. If I wanted to know the interest amount paid in total over these 300 months, if I wanted to know the total interest paid, I'll simply come and say Alt. I'm holding on to Alt equals on this interest column. So Alt equals, and then it takes up like this, and then enter. So you can see I borrowed, ladies and gentlemen, I borrowed 25 million. But see in this case here, at the end of the day, how much interest I've paid. Yeah. So I only borrowed 25 million, and I'll end up paying interest only. Interest only is 43. So if you come here, because installments, basically, if you come here, I mean, the interest is 43, 43, 152, 43 million. You can imagine. So remember this installment that you are paying here, installment normally covers interest and the principal. So when you come here and say Alt equals, then automatically you should be able to get. So you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have ended up paying 68 million, a cool 68 million. And out of this 68 million, the interest, or rather the principal, is 25 million. So if you want to know in this case here, the interest alone, if you want to prove it from here, not interest but principal, you will come and say equals, you take the total installment paid here, you say minus what here, you say minus this 43. You'll be able to see the principal that you borrowed. So in this case, you borrowed exactly 20. So out of 25 million, you will be able to pay in those 300 months, you'll be able to pay 68 million. All right. So in short, you'll be able to pay interest of 43 million to this mortgage company, And that is what, ladies and gentlemen, they normally call mortgages. You know, mortgage is another term for what here? Death sentence. So does it mean that mortgages are bad? Does it mean that mortgages are... And remember, I've just done with 10%. I know of some banks that are giving mortgages at 13. Yeah, I know mortgages which are giving at 13. If you simply come and vary, please listen. If you come and vary here, because I've made this to be, if you come here and vary, ladies and gentlemen, if you come and just vary this, say to 14%, this one here, just take it at 14%, move it at 14%, move it to 14%, and then you will see wonders here. So the installment goes up a little bit. But now look at the interest here. Control down arrow. So now the interest, straight away, interest alone goes to 65 million. Interest alone. You borrow 25 million, and now you're going to pay, in this case, 65 million. So the question that I'm posing to you before I start teaching you this thing, what do you think of these mortgages? And that's how they behave. Are they good or bad? You as finance professionals, what do you think of mortgages? Good or bad? Mortgages are very good. If you ask me, I started working with mortgages since I got my very first job. And today, up to date, I've never regretted. I know they are expensive, but the fact that they are able to discipline you, you know the consequence of, failing to pay a mortgage, then automatically you will leave a very straight, thin line like this. Like this house that I'm living in, I was able to build it at the age of 27. Nairobi, in a very good residence. All right. If it were not for mortgages, I'm so sure even by now, if it were not for mortgages, given where I work and what I do, and even the size of RCM, were it not for mortgages, I'm so sure by now maybe I would be drinking something. I would be lazing around. All right. But because of mortgages, at times nafika saa saba usiku nasikia usingizi imekata mara moja, unasema let me go and develop content. So because of that, I prefer mortgages. I would always want mortgages. Siwezi kuwa yeah, siwezi taka kuwa bila mortgage mimi. Hata watu wakisema namna gani. They are good. Because I'm so sure today I would be living a very different life kama ingekuwa ma mortgages na loans. They are very good. They are very good. You can't get mwalimu here. Yeah, you can't get mwalimu in this case here. For example, going to a club, paying a bill of 30,000 or slapping those expensive bottles told me to slap them. No. I mean, I know the value of 30,000. Then, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, this building is going up by the day. Every time the value is increasing. So this interest that I'm paying, of course, it's being swallowed by what year? The rise in value of the property. Rise in value of the property. But of course, it has got its fair of share of challenges. That is why when you're taking mortgages, you should always be thinking about several streams of income. You can't just rely on salary. Because for sure, when you rely on salary alone, and then your boss in this case here comes and tells you, hey, jump, you can only ask, how high do you want me to jump? Because if they fire you, you lose everything. You lose everything. So as you go for them, they are very, very important. You need, and if possible, take mortgages when you are very young and ensure that you are able to pay them very fast before obligations. Before obligations in this case here meet up with you. Before obligations meet up with you, come with these mortgages, and then now you pay like that. Now, so are they ready? We start doing this thing from scratch. Now I want to start teaching now, this thing here. Or before even mention start teaching, is there somebody who has been able to do exactly what I did? Do we have any serious ninja that has been able to do exactly what I did? Oh, what do you mean? You guys are geniuses, okay? And the way I was moving with speed, thinking that I would lose all of you. The way I was moving with speed, thinking that I would lose all of you. Got lost at sequence, okay? Got lost at sequence. So mwalimu, we need to repeat on this sequence thing. All right, then you guys, I mean, you are geniuses. You are geniuses. Or you borrowed yesterday's concept. Great. But now, again, let me look at the other side of the coin. Do we have any student who would want mwalimu to repeat a few things here and there? Do we have anybody who has an issue I repeat? Or are you saying all of you, mwalimu, go to the next concept, this one, kindly do. You see, the principal amount is what we are borrowing today. The loan amount is what you are borrowing here. When you use the principal. No. Oh, I know now what you're asking. Josephine, remember there are two methods of doing this. There is this method where you break down the installment into interest and the principal. I don't like that method personally. I don't like it. I'll always go by this method. It's so simple to me. This is very simple to me. Very simple to me. All right. I repeat everything. All right. No worries. No worries. I'm repeating now. Great. 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 So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, and I would want to even open a new sheet. We start with sequence. How do we write sequence? So somebody tells you today, we have these products which are ranging from 1 to 500. Please give them a number. Then we get a ninja saying 1, 2, 3. Or they even say 1, 2. And then they start telling you that mwalimu, I can come and combine these two. And then now I come and use the angry rabbit, but I can't hit it this time around. I'll pull it by the tail. The angry rabbit, I pull it by the tail. So how do you do like this up to 500? I mean, unakuja unaanza kutuandishanisha hapa mpaka ifike kazi chafu, kazi mbaya mpaka ifike 500. Kazi chafu hii. Hata inasumbua kabisa hii. Kazi mbaya hii. Kazi mbaya hii. Mpaka ifike 500. What you need to do, ladies and gentlemen, here is simply to come and use the sequence. If you have a Microsoft Office Excel, Microsoft Excel 2021 and above, so you'll come and say equals, you say sequence like that. You can see returns a sequence of what here? Numbers. All right. So in this case here, you tab or you double click on this. You double click. So you tab like that. And then if you have 500 numbers, those are, they'll take 500 rows moving. So in this case, you simply say 500. Don't even bother to close brackets. You simply go there and say enter, enter. And then to see whether you have gotten it right, you'll simply press control, and then we have the, we have those 4 navigation keys, the 4 arrows. So you press the south or the down arrow. It will take you to the last number there, which is 500. So do we have a ninja who has now known how to do this today and who is very happy? If Excel is not able to do this, contact that gentleman called Maxwell. Contact that gentleman called Maxwell. Sirius will be able to give you his number. He'll be able to assist you to get this Excel at a very cheap price. Do we have some ninja now as an on? I can repeat this severally, not once, severally. How to get a sequence of numbers, sequence and series. I repeat, okay? I don't want to mention the amount. You guys will discuss that on WhatsApp because now I'm live. You'll discuss that on WhatsApp, but it's too low. If you want, it's too, I don't want to mention that figure here. It has no sequence Philippians 4:13 because your Excel is a 2010. It's an old one. It's an old one. Now, can you kindly do me a favor? These guys who are telling me to repeat, can you kindly do me a favor? Mistaki wanafunzi waoga. Mistaki wanafunzi waoga. Nataka wanafunzi ambao wanashare screen yake. Hebu share screen tafadhali. Ananiambia repeat. Able to adopt this strategy. Tuweze kutoka kwa hizo. Able to share screen. Just share your screen. I show you these things once and for all. The student who said repeat. Please don't fear anything. Remember, everybody's in their home. Nobody has ever seen your face. Thank you so much. So go to the sequence. Go to sequence. Are you able to get like a new? You can even try. Just go to column X. Just go to column X. Yeah, I want you to say there equals sequence. Great. And then you say in this case here 300 rows or whichever rows you want to. Then you don't have a problem with that. Enter. Great. It's coming in form of decimals. You can always reduce decimals. Yeah, you can always reduce them. Great. Dear Maxwell, yes. Thank you so much. Now, Brett, you'll allow me, before I repeat on how to do the schedule, I know you wanted me to do the schedule, let everybody be comfortable with this sequence and series. The topic we did in high school, I remember very well. Another ninja, share your screen very fast. We have quite a lot of things to do today. Another ninja who is not able to see. Of course, if you have that sequence in your machine, if you don't have it, you have to buy that new Excel. Please share your screen very fast. Got it. Thank you very much. Got it. Problem, we have a few ninjas here who are fearing. We have a few ninjas who are fearing. You should never fear. You should never, ever fear. Never, ever fear. So then can I assume that we are comfortable? The other option, there are so many options. There are so many options. There are so many options. But we don't want to look at many options really here. You see, for example, you can come here and write number 1. After you've written number 1, you can come and say Control Enter. We used to use these things a long time ago, over 10 years ago. So when you do like that, you'll come and put this angry rabbit here, the angry rabbit. And then you right click. Once you right click, using your touch pad, you go down one step, still you're right-clicking, you go down one step, and then you go back. You go back to where you started. And then you release the right click. When you release the right click, you'll be able to see the sequence and the series down here. Series here. You click there. And then come and tell this guy that you're going to the column, and then you state the value. You want to go to 300, for example. It takes you to 300 very well. But we used to do this 10 years ago. It's outdated, really. Let me repeat this. What am I doing here? So where are you starting from? You're starting this from number 1. You enter, go back to that number 1 again. You come and put the angry rabbit there. And then now you long press on right click. Don't release it. I'm still long pressing this. And then using now my other hand, the touch pad, I'll be able to come and drag, scroll down. Then I go back, release. And then I say down here, series. Pop-up window. This pop-up window, I'm going column-wise. Then put the stop value. Where do you want to go? It can even be 10,000, whatever. If you say 10,000, well and good. It will be able to take you 10. If I say here, control down arrow, just take me 10,000 like that. Just take me 10,000 like that. So is there somebody who has been able to know how to use this archaic method? It's an archaic method. If I find you doing this at my workplace, I'll snatch some of your salary. I slash your salary because I know this is not an Excel ninja. But Excel ninja should always be updated. Like now we are looking at, already Excel is developing new functionalities which are under test. Like now me, I'm looking at what we call the beta. They call them the beta versions. Now I'm looking at the beta, the newest of the newest, which will be released in 2025. I would want to be among the first people to know them. So they allow people to go and do testing for them. So, but if you would want Willis to be doing this old my things here, and yet you know that that new Excel is going for something like this, not with 3 zeros, something with 2 zeros. I don't want to mention a lot here because I'm live somewhere. I'm live somewhere and I'm a ninja expert. I only tell you those things because so many of our students are not working. Otherwise, I don't like plagiarism. Yeah, that's Maxwell's number. All right. So would you allow Mwalimu to now march on to the next thing? Will you allow Mwalimu to march on now to the next thing? I mean, with this mortgage, I want to do now this mortgage. Now, this mortgage, ladies and gentlemen, I would even want to open a new sheet. I start here afresh. So we have here mortgage. Sorry, I should have written here mortgage loan. So mortgage loan, I'm using my personal example, but I was also daring. So I took a huge mortgage here. So the interest per annum, it was 9% that time, but let me use 10% just to, so interest per annum is 10%. NOI, number of years, 25 years. That was only 27. Already finished it. I'm a serious ninja. Finished long time ago. So NOI, 25. So then you are required here to come up with a loan amortization schedule. So the thing that you need to do, because installments are normally paid on a monthly basis, you need to change these metrics here onto monthly metrics. So give me monthly interest rate. Monthly interest rate. So of course, ladies and gentlemen, I'll come and say equals, this is what I'll apportion. So I'll take this 10, I divide this by what year? By 12. Because you see the 10% is for a whole year. How about interest per month? I say enter. All right. If you want to change to percentage, of course, you can do that very fast, but I'm not interested in that. So from there, we have number of months. In total, I'll pay how many installments over how many months. So number of months, I know 1 year has got 12 months, and these ninjas want me to pay this over 20, so 25 times 12. So now I'm moving slowly. So up to here, ladies and gentlemen, somehow, are we still connected? Are we still together? Are we still together? Are we still together? Up to here now. You know, now there's a ninja will wait for me to finish the whole and then tells me to go back. No, we should do a talk now. Great. And then now we go to the loan amortization schedule. So we start here with norm, the number of months there. Then we have, in this case here, opening balance. Opening B. B stands for balance. Ladies and gentlemen, we have interest here. We have interest here. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we have, in this case here, what we call installment paid. Installment paid. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we have our closing B. Closing B. Closing B. Closing balance. Closing balance. Let me know once you are able to write those column titles. Let me know once you are able to write those column titles. You can simply put your thumbs up like a ninja. And today you guys have not called in so many of your colleagues to join. You know, by the end of the month, this BDA should be having over 300 students. If we don't move with speed in terms of helping Mwalimu will not be able to get those 300 students. Actually, it should not be 300. Actually, this year you promised me something, if you remember. You told me, Mwalimu, this number should be 1,000. This number should be 1,000 so that you're going to get to change your old vehicle. My vehicle is now too old. That's what you promised me last semester. Through referrals. And the BDA alone, I just want BDA alone to get 1,000. Guys, paying full fees, not the retake. If you paid retake, I'm not counting you. I'm counting the guys who are paying full fee. All right. So number of months, ladies and gentlemen, I should be able to come here and use sequence, because these 300 are too many, I can't write. So I'll come and use what we call sequence like that. So that is sequence. Then I'll be able to write, I want it to go to 300. So I simply write 300 and then I enter. So that has gone to 300. Then now I come and pick the opening balance. Opening balance is what I'm borrowing today, 25. The balances will fluctuate. So the balance you can't lock. You can't lock. Then you go to next tab, interest. So interest, ladies and gentlemen, I will take interest to always be pegged on the opening balance. So I take the opening balance, I say shift 8 because I'm multiplying this figure here. And you know that this figure must be frozen. How do we freeze? If you're not able to use your Fs, we have this F4. F4 is on top there. I can see F1, F2, F3, F4. So some calculator, but laptops, you simply say F4 direct. Some other bad ones, like the one that I'm using today, I have to say function F4. So here we have function F4 like that. Function F4. Once I say like that, then I'm able to see those dollars popping up. They're freezing. They're for referencing. It's called full reference. I have to put this as a full reference because the interest rate will not, the monthly interest rate will not keep on fluctuating. It's an assumption that we make. It won't keep on fluctuating. Then I will not say enter, but use tab. If you want to go to the right cell, you get an answer and then you skip to the cell on the right, you say tab like that. Then come here and pick the installment. Installment, I did not calculate this installment. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. But I have not broken anybody's bone. This is the good thing with Excel. I simply need to come and say escape, escape. Then I come here and write PMT, which is my installment, which is my installment, which is my installment. So that I'll be able to tab there So this installment, ladies and gentlemen, what am I doing to get this installment? To get this installment, I'm using the PMT for payment. How much is this ninja required to pay? So PMT is what we use. So this PMT, I'll come and tab or say PMT, double click it because I can see it is here. The rate of interest is this monthly, comma. Number of periods, there are 300, comma. Present value is this 25. I'm following this parenthesis here. So present value is this 25. All right. Then you close brackets if you wish. And if I'm the one I'm really used to this, I'll come after equals. I will come here and put what here? Put a minus. So I don't get a minus answer. Enter. Enter. So I can come and really do away with these dollars. Of course, when you see dollars here, it's either you are in accounting mode here or currency mode. So I can come and take number, just normal number without dollars like that. And then I will come and pull this down here, equals, I pull this down here. So what do you know about installment? It doesn't keep on wobbling like an old jalopy vehicle of mine. It is steady on the road. And if it's steady on the road, ladies and gentlemen, if it's not a rickety vehicle, if it's steady on the road, then you need to really put dollars. You love it. I mean, it's going to be constant throughout. So how do we do these dollars? So it's function F4 like this. And then you go straight away to closing balance. How do we get closing balance? To get closing balance, we shall take opening balance. We add the interest thereon, add the interest thereon, and then you say minus the installment. You say minus the installment. And then, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be able to control enter there. This figure is so huge because of the decimals. Decimals, I can cut them the way I wish. I can come and reduce them like this, with this, reduce them. Like I want 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places are good to handle. And then now, ladies and gentlemen, I will come to year number 2 now, month number 2, I mean. So month number 2, what I closed with in month number 1 is what I pull here. So I'll be able to come and say equals, I pull this figure. So I pull this figure by saying tab like that. I go to the interest. I know how interest is normally obtained. Interest is obtained by us taking the figure that we have here as the opening balance, the month that you stayed with the whole month, and then I say times the rate of interest. The rate of interest is here. The rate of interest is not that jalopy, that rickety vehicle. The rate of interest is always constant. It's a metric that has to be dollarized, to be referenced there. So how do I do that? Control or that function. I'm holding on to function. Function is next to control. So I'm holding on to this function. And then I say F4 like that. Then I say tab. Installment, I know where to pick it from. I simply need to pick it from here. This is a steady vehicle on the road. I need to dollarize it. So F4 like that. So we go to tab. So from there now we know how to get closing. Closing, I'm taking in this case here, this opening. Then I say, ladies and gentlemen, plus the interest. Then I say here minus the installment like that. Once I've only done for month number 2, I don't need to continue at all. I simply need to come and put this, and then I highlight this whole row once. And then I come with my rabbit. It's white here. I take it to the cage. It doesn't love that cage. It becomes angry. Once I take it to this cage, it becomes angry. And an angry rabbit shall always be beaten twice from behind. So you double click. It is able to amortize itself. If you say control down arrow, you're able to see it amortizing itself to 0 now. It's amortizing itself to 0 now. It's amortizing itself to 0 now. So is there now somebody who has been able to know how this is done? I can see 27 new comments. Great, Joy, great. Great. Walete hapa kwangu Grace Mudhengi wewe. Great, I can see good questions being asked there by like Lillian. I'll be able to answer that. But first, I'll have to take these ninjas through this until they become comfortable. Janet Ochieng is a great ninja. Cecilia Chege, as usual, from AFM. Valentine. Thanks, Lydia. Great. I like such kind of series. They share very fast. Great. Yeah, don't worry. So let's start from, are you able to maximize first of all your screen, Lydia up there where you have that thing of canceling the entire Excel. There is a big for maximize. Okay, see you ingine on the left. You close, don't close. Even on the left, the maximizing one. No, hiyo ni chini, hiyo ni down. That's down. Unaona kuna X. Unaona kuna X. On the left of it, kuna kibox. Kabox kadogo hivyo. On the left of it, ya ku maximize. Ulikuwa umeguza tu, just ungesonga tu kidogo left kama soja. Yeah. Great. So then I would want to see where you have labeled your months from number 1 to 300. Thank you so much. Now, please take me to cell C9. C9, where you have your interest. Put your cursor there. B9, which is very good times good. Go to installment. The installment, you have not fixed it. That installment, you need to fix it. So put your cursor there and press F4. Function F4. Yeah, great. So do the same in this case here to that one, yes. That one, yes. Do the same. Put your cursor there. Fix it. Okay. Now, please go and highlight now your row number 2. Now, highlight your row number 2. Take the rabbit to the cage. Hit it seriously. Now, it will be able to behave. Now, you simply say control down. You don't do that. You say control down arrow. We shall overcome. Control down arrow. What if there were 10,000? Nitakuchekelea kwa interview. You could see say bado 30. No, if I were you, what I would have done, just click anywhere in between. Click, ona kama mahali click. Sasa, hapo ni sawa. Sasa, sema control down arrow. Control those navigation keys. There are 4 of them. Yeah. So you can see this thing is now behaving. It has been able to amortize too. Even if it's negative like that, just leave it. Leave it. It's a very small negative. Leave it. Thank you very much, Lydia. Thank you very much, Lydia. Yeah, it's because it's like a small negative, like 0.000. Great, we shall overcome. Thank you so much. Hata kitu nimekusaidia Lydia ni confidence yako. Wengi hawana confidence, akiona hizo errors, anaogopa kushare. Wanaogopa ile Kiswahili inasema kwamba afichaye uchi azai. Was bigger. Thank you very much, Kiplimo. Let's see. Kiplimo is using the other method. He's using the other method. Is good enough. Is it amortizing to 0? Is it the most important thing is that it should be able to amortize. Just click anywhere in between there, then use control down arrow. You should be able to know how to navigate. No, you don't navigate like that. Click anywhere there. Kiplimo, stop what you're doing. Click anywhere inside there. Click one cell, only one cell. Only one cell inside the table. Only one cell inside the table. Only one. You may click a whole column. Just click only one cell. Click only one cell. No. Anywhere, just any cell. Even that one, just click there. Yes, and then now use control down arrow. Great. You can see it is amortizing to 0 there. It is now amortizing to 0 there, which is very good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. All right. Now, would you allow Mwalimu to go to another concept? So that is 20. Why 20 is supposed to be 300? Let's see. So control down. Why 20? It should go all the way to 300. It should go all the way to 300. Are you able to write, are you able to come there? Go to K, go to any cell in K. Any cell in K. It's a sequence problem. It's a sequence problem. And Willis, what I would, Willis actually allow me to put you out of order. Willis, not in bad faith. Willis, what I know, you can afford with 2 zeros. That one I know. Instead of teaching you, in this case here, just a very long method, why don't we say like tomorrow, even tonight? Just get the real thing, and then I show you, because I can see your Excel is an old one, Willis. Can you agree on that, Willis? You know, if it was 3 with 3 zeros, then I would have been worried a little bit. But 3 with, you know, with bread, now going for about 100, you can just sacrifice very fast. Get a good Excel. get a good Excel. CPA Kabila? Yes. Atakuambia vile utafanya. Great. So, your numbers are very small, but we shall overcome. Yeah, put your cursor in the interest. Put your cursor in E. Oh. Put your cursor in E in the interest. Yeah, that one. Wewe kitu hujafanya, very good. Kitu hujafanya, hauja lock interest. Hauja lock interest. So that E4, is it E4? You need to lock it up. Go back there. Go back there to one. Very good. Pia lock your interest ya pili. Great. Enda kwa installment. Tuone installment. Installment locked nicely. Installment ya pili. Nice. So now go to row number 2. Go to row number 2. Pick it, the whole of it. Hit that rabbit. Is it rounding off error? No problem. Let's see what may have happened really. What may have happened. Wacha tuanze mwanzo. Hebu nisaidie kuangalia error. Jina mnajua kuangalia error. Hapo 25 million, that's okay. The interest again, interest 208. So there I can see 208. D13 times that is okay. How about installment? Let's check again installment. That's okay. Look at the closing balance. Oh, sababu uliweka negative, uliweka brackets. Those brackets ni uongo. Turudie tena hiyo closing balance. Sema equals hapo closing balance. Equals. Take the opening balance. Plus interest. Plus that interest minus closing. Yeah, minus installment, sorry. Thank you. Now, of course, it adjusted. Sasa iko sawa. Sasa enda kwa row number ngoja kwanza tuone. Ngoja kwanza, hebu weka kwanza kasa kwa hiyo closing balance ya month 2. Closing balance ya month 2. Bado, rekebisha hapo. Rekebisha hapo. Plus interest minus installment. Great. Sasa pick the entire row number 2. Beat that rabbit. Now it will be able to copy hiyo peke yake. No, row 2. Row 2. No, row 2. Umepick vibaya. Enda kwa row 2. Hata sio inaleta shida. Tazi overwrite tu. Double click. Where could the problem be? The interest in row 2 maybe is wrong. The interest in row 2. Okay. No, there must be something wrong. Go back to this 0.08 something, 0.008. Go back there to this E. How did you get that E? Uliandika kwa mkono. Hebu sema uliandika kwa mkono. Lazima ufanye ikiwa equals 10% divided by 12. Divided by 12. And then go to the 300. Go to 300. How did you get that 300? It has always to be part of the formula. Equals 25 times 12. Installment. Let's see the installment. Repeat doing it. Just repeat doing it. You should be able to adjust really. Equals negative. PMT, okay, rate. Rate is the one that is up there, comma, number of periods, 300, comma, present value. Is that the mortgage? Okay, close brackets. Haya, tuende kwa month number 1, opening balance. Sababu una copy hiyo, nafaa uchukue equals uipike huko juu kwa mortgage. Interest, so that one you have to lock it. No, if you're picking the interest part, you must lock it. F4 times the 25 million. Go to the installment now. So equals, you pick that 227 something. Uko juu. Lock fully. Umelock kweli. Lock fully. And then now get the closing balance. Equals opening balance plus the rate of interest minus installment. Enter. Now go to row number 2. You say equals, you pick the closing balance. Go to its interest for row 2. Equals, you pick that times the rate of interest. And that interest must be fully locked. Function F4. The installment, pick the installment. I think installment is correct. Just put it again there, equals. Fully, and then you go to closing balance for month number 2 equals opening balance plus interest minus installment. Let's see if it refuses. I don't know, because I think he has really done everything okay now. I've never seen it refusing, but he was. Yeah. Wacha kufanya kienyeji hivyo bwana. You should do these things as mwalimu teaches you. Wake up, sema control down arrow. Yeah, great. Thank you, CPA Kabila. Thank you. Now practice. All right. Or the mortgage amount. No, it's correct. 2.5 times 10 raised to 7 is correct. Great. Thank you so much. So now all of us, make everything be generated by the computer here. So are we now comfortable? Great. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please, I would want you to listen, and you get to listen to me very well. The BDA examiner is becoming complicated by the day. I attend some of those meetings, and what I'm hearing them say, I mean, this paper, this time around, it will be doable. This year it will be doable, but moving forward, the BDA will be a paper that will be almost an impossible paper. Because like right now, what they're saying is that if it's a amortization schedule that you have taught you guys, then we must be able to go and see, like in financial reporting, in financial management, where else do we get these amortization schedules? Where else do we get these loan amortization schedules? Then that now drives me to what we call IFRS 16. Is there anybody who is able to remember what IFRS 16? We don't want this time around this examiner to knock us off guard, where he brings published and then we are not prepared. This time around, we should be very, very prepared. Yeah, IFRS 16 talks about leases. IFRS 16 talks about what year? Leases, if you remember. It talks about leases, you're right. So are they ready? We do IFRS 16 now. Are they ready? We do this IFRS 16 now? Yes. Thank you very much. And then I have a handout that I would want to share with them here. Very easy. But you see, if they bring without you studying, you'll get yourself in problems. So I would want us to copy or rather take a screenshot of this question. Battery, I need to plug in my charger. Please take a screenshot of that question. Please take a screenshot of that question. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are told here on 1st January 2019, Breakwood Limited entered into a contract to lease an item of plant and equipment from a supplier for a 3-year period. The terms of the lease were that Breakwood Limited was to pay $500,000 each year, with payments commencing on 31st December 2019. Initial direct costs incurred on the lease amounted to $30,000 and were paid for by Breakwood Limited. The plant and equipment had a remaining economic useful life of 5 years at the inception of the lease. The lease contract did not contain any purchase option for the lessee. Breakwood Limited can borrow at a rate of 10% per year. So required, analyze the accounting treatment of the above lease transactions from the inception and for the 3-year period. Listen, here the lessee, who is like the tenant, he'll be required here to pay lease amount of $500 each year, and this particular contract, ladies and gentlemen, is a 3-year lease contract. The very first thing you will do, there are 2 things you must do very fast if you get this kind of a question. If you get this kind of a question, ladies and gentlemen, you as a great ninja, this is what you should be able to do. This is what you should be able to do as a great ninja. This is what you should be able to do. This is what you'll be able to do. So you see, we have 3 years. So we have 3 years. We have 3 years. The lease period is 3 years. So we'll come and write 1, 2. Now you'll get a student who wants to use even sequence now here. How do you use sequence here? So then, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we have our cash flow, our lease rentals. We have our cash flow here, which is our lease rentals here. Cash flow. These are the lease rentals. How much are you paying? So every year we are paying 500,000. I want to put these figures in thousands. 500. Every year we are paying 500. Every year we are paying 500. As this examiner given me the cork, remember they're only 3 years. As this examiner given me the cork, hey, you guys who took a screenshot, do we have the cost of capital? Has this guy given me the cost of capital? Yeah, so they're giving me answers here. The cost of capital, ladies and gentlemen, the cost of capital, ladies and gentlemen, is 10%. The cost of capital, I'll share this document with you, so don't worry about even the snipping, but it's good. Professionally, it's good for you to know how to use the snipping tool because of your work. Your boss needs you to be snipping things. So in this case, the cost of capital is 10%. So then what I will do, ladies and gentlemen, here, very first, please listen. These are very, very easy thing. Very, very easy thing. These are very easy thing. So once in this case, ladies and gentlemen, I'm able to know my cash flows. How much am I going to be paying every month? Every year, end of every year, 500, 500, 500. So the next thing that you need to do is to come and calculate for us the present value of this lease liability. Present value of the lease liability. So present value of the lease liability, this is what I'll do. I've got very many options, and I'll show you all the options. I will come here and call it I'll call it PV. Present value of lease liability. Present value of lease liability. So present value of lease liability, I'll simply come there two ways. I can make use of NPV. I can make use of the NPV functionality, the normal way I'm used to, or I use the annuity concept. Allow me today to just show you this NPV. I'll use NPV. Of course, I know it will still be present value because there is no initial outlay here. So it will be PV at the end of the day. But because Excel acknowledges as NPV, so you'll use NPV tool. You'll come and say here, tab. Then they want you to pick the rate. This has to be the rate of interest. Then come here, you can see they want you to pick from value 1. So the first cash flow to the last cash flow. So you simply come on there, ladies and gentlemen, highlight. You'll come here straight away and highlight these 3 cash flows like that. Because they want you to highlight, you can see here, from value 1, value 2, value 3. They want you to highlight all your cash flows. And then what you do, having exhausted the rate there, as per the parentheses here, having exhausted the rate here, and all the values have been highlighted, I'll come and do what here, close brackets there, and then I'll be able to do what here, to enter. So I'm getting the present value of lease liability as 1243.43. We said you can just remove this dollar if you hate it, remove the dollar there by putting a number in. And then, of course, expand the cells here. Hapana, tulisema wanafunzi wangu wote mahali wako hawatakuwa wanafunzi wa kupanua hizi columns au hivi. Wewe ni mwanafunzi lazy. Wanafunzi wangu, wherever they are, they know how to do this thing very easily. You simply come and highlight the whole sheet, especially when the sheet is too big. You highlight the whole sheet by pressing here, and then you go to any column in between, and then you double click. These things will be able to fit very well. So we have present value of lease liability as 1243.43. So basically, this is the loan amount that you have been given. This is the loan amount that you have been given. Please, before you start doing it, allow me to explain something. You know, we have in IFRS 16, if you remember very well, we have 2 parties. We have the lessor and the lessee. The lessor is the one who gives the right of use to the lessee. Once you are given the right of use, the way we are given right of use at Stanbank, we have RCM Stanbank House, first floor. So once you are given this right of use, then you have taken possession and control of that space. So that space now becomes yours because you have taken control. So it means that the lessee is the one who will be doing depreciation. But now remember, you've been given control of an asset and you have not paid in full. Because otherwise, remember what is supposed to happen. This lessor has given you this space for 5 years. It is yours. It is yours. So if he has given you this space for 5 years and it's yours, you're supposed to pay him in full. But of course, you don't have that capability. So you'll be paying on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis. So basically, this guy gives you a loan. Once he has given you the building, like he has given you, you have what we call present value of the lease liability, which is the total loan. So this is what now will be like our mortgage. Ladies and gentlemen, please listen. And once now I've gotten this, that's the first step. You give us present value of lease liability. Now the next step, ladies and gentlemen, will be for you to come and give us a loan amortization schedule. I wish this examiner brings this thing this time around. So you come and give us what we call a loan amortization schedule then. A loan amortization schedule like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember we've got how many years here? We have years 1, years 2. We normally do a loan amortization schedule over the lease term, not over the machine life. The machine here has got 5 years, but our contract is a lease contract of 3 years. So we have, ladies and gentlemen, our titles as usual. So this is the year. Ladies and gentlemen, this is, we have here the opening balance, opening B. We have opening B. We have our interest here. We have interest there. Then we have, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, our installment. Then we have here our closing B. Now, this is slightly different from what we've been doing because here you won't calculate PMT. Is there somebody who knows why I will not calculate PMT? Is there somebody who knows why I will not calculate PMT? Is there somebody who knows why I will not calculate PMT? Because you see, PMT are the payments you're making. Under leases, you have your rent known to you. You're paying 500 every year. So therefore, there is no need for you to calculate PMT. So then this is what you'll do. So who can tell me something about opening balance? What do you think will I take here as my opening balance? Please talk to me. Opening balance. Thank you so much. It is this loan given to me. I tab. Interest will always be opening balance times the rate of interest, which is your cost of capital, 10%. And that cost of capital does not fluctuate. That remains the same. That remains the same. So we shall come, ladies and gentlemen, here and say function F4, like that. And then we go to the installment. So installment, of course, I'll come and just pick one. And because it's constant, I can lock it. Function F4. Tab. We come to closing. So closing, I'm taking the opening plus the interest minus installment. Then I should be able to come here and enter. I go to year number 2. So year number 2, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm sleeping with this here, tab, I come and say interest is always based on the opening balance. So times cost of capital. Cost of capital interest must always be pegged like that. And then we say tab. Installment, I know the installment is this cash for the rent that I'm paying, this 500. So I'll be able to come and page it up like that. And then I say tab. So I get closing. So closing will be this opening plus the interest minus this 500 like that. So of course there are 3 years only. Honestly speaking, I should be able to continue, but because of our laziness, I'm also lazy here, would want shortcut, would want this thing to do for me the 3rd year. You can see now this thing is balancing, sending that to 0 like that. So I'll give you 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, you try doing this on your own. So this paper would want us to attack this paper in various ways. And that is why I would want to see a very serious discussion platform. A very serious discussion platform. Because if you continue failing, it will come a time when you will not be able to pass this paper totally, I can assure you. We just have to pass this paper, all of us. And for those of you who have been able to join me for the very first time here, they've come and they would want to get associated with a very good college. RCM is the home of CPA in East Africa. We are the home of CPA in East Africa, so you must join us. Lazima uzoee sauti sasa because utakaa na mimi hapa for some time. Tamalizana na wewe, tuanze workshop, tuende wapi. So you to join us. And for you to join us, please, our inquiry number is 0719 525,000. 0719 525,000. 0719 525,000. So do we have any ninja that has been able to do up to here? Do we have any ninja that has been able to do up to here? Or how did I calculate lease? I'll be able to show you how I calculate that lease liability. Okay. You see, here we can't use PMT because we are given the installment amount. You know, for rental, you're normally given like pay this amount. You know, for the loan, you calculate it because you'll be given the loan amount, number of years, and the rate of interest, and then you calculate it yourself, how much you'll be paying. But in most cases for lease, you will be given the amount you're going to be paying your landlord, the installment, the cash flow you use to get PV of lease liability. That is what you shall be using, ladies and gentlemen. In this case, you have to do what here you'll put that in your installment. You'll put that in your installment. So repeat on how you got this. And by the way, I have a get together with all the new students over the weekend, which is the very best day for these new students that I should be able to use to teach them. Very best day that I should be able to use to teach these new ninjas to ensure that they cover up. Because like this NPV are taught, to ensure that they catch up, which new day is perfect for them. Yeah, I'll be able to show you the direct cost, how we deal with it. The new day that will be perfect. The day that will be perfect for the new student, Nigani. Is it Sunday? Talk of Sunday, for example, after church. Sunday, 2 p.m. I have AFR. So it can either be Sunday morning, yeah, or Sunday after 4 p.m. I'm free from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. 8 p.m. I have AFM. I hope you haven't forgotten my timetable. So Sunday, what time? Have very good questions here. But you're a pastor, Kevin. The way you're laughing, Kevin, you're not a pastor. You're not a pastor. 4 p.m. is good, right? So then Sunday, we have a deal with all the new students. Yeah, we should be able to lock because you see it's 500 every year, the same. Anything that is going to be constant, you have to lock. You have to lock. So Sunday, 4 p.m. deal. Sunday, 4 p.m. deal. Sunday, 4 p.m. deal. Sunday, do we have a discussion group? You should be able to discuss that on WhatsApp. You should be able to discuss that on WhatsApp. So that because there will be so many discussion groups. Discussion groups, you don't want to fix like all students join. No. I would want to have one discussion group led by Madam Joy. This could be, for example, an early morning group, which in this case, they are able to rise up at say 4. And then they do their discussions, then they go to their other things. I would want another discussion group led by Kevin, the pastor. Discussion group hakuna venue. Okay, venue is virtual. It's Zoom. I'll give you the Zoom link that you'll be using here to discuss amongst yourselves. We are a virtual college. We don't want in this case here to encourage any meetups. Many meetups are not very good. Yeah. Then Hilda, yes, you should also be able to lead like 20 students. I would want small groups of students that are discussing so much between themselves. Also, Grace, yes. Those are just, even you, Jose, you need a group you need a group to lead. You need a group to lead. All the students who are leading students here to do these discussions like last semester, all of them passed. Because, it is in the process of trying to teach somebody, that's when you realize you know nothing. You have a group of 200 students, you're trying to look for what to lock, what to do, you start sweating. So the process, you will never forget what you learn while sweating. You will never forget. You will never forget. Good questions there, but those ones you can address them in WhatsApp. There's a gentleman called Franco from Mombasa. Yeah, in a stick here. Kwanza kwa Excel, ukienda kule unanyoroshwa, unachanganyikiwa 100%, na ndio mwalimu. And then you see, once people tell you that you're the teacher, you have to study. You have to do lesson preparation. So that also helps you because you become perfect now. So all of us should be able to volunteer to teach. RCM, if there is anything that has really been of help to us at RCM, ladies and gentlemen, is this discussion group concept. There's no any other college does that. And having many discussions as possible, others over the weekend, others, I mean, we will be able to go very, very far. You'll be able to go very, very far. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to finish now this question. Yeah, count me in, Eve. Great, Eve. And then remember, in my class and in all those discussions, there is nobody who takes a backbench. Kama kuna subject ambayo nataka mwanafunzi kimbele mbele. Okay, kimbele mbele may not be the very best term, lakini mwanafunzi mwenye anapenda kuongeongea sana, it is BDA. BDA nataka mwanafunzi mwenye anaongeongea. Ukienda nyamaza hivi, unashindwa, uwezi uliza swali, unaenda ukisema tu songa tu mbele. Nitajua baadaye, utawahi jua, utarepeat. Lazima ujitume sana hii. Noisemakers have it. They have it. Add more lectures to BDA. No, 4 are enough. Honestly speaking, Kanye Alex, if you're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which college does 4 classes of BDA? Most of these colleges are only teaching twice a week. As you're doing 4 times. And then our student discussions will make it, I mean. Also, I need to give you some time to study on your own. If I do like everything, if you want me to meet you 7 days a week, it'll be too much. The operations. No, Kenny, I believe you also need time. If I do it from Monday to Thursday, or what do you think, members? You can see what Brenda is saying. There's only other CM you can get value for money. Yeah, 4 days is really very good. 4 days, very good. 4 days, very, very good. 4 days, very, very good. You don't need like so many. And you also need to catch up on lessons missed. Yeah, they're enough. They're enough. Even this 4th day, remember, people are sacrificing. There are people who only wanted us to do 3 as per the timetable. So 4 days are enough from your teachers. Now the other days, in this case, it's you and your assignment. It's you and your group discussion. You become teachers as well. Yeah, 4 classes, 3 groups, then personal lessons. And then remember, these groups, assuming Grace Mudengi is handling 1 group, Hilda is handling another group, Mwalim Jose is handling another group. Don't say Mr. Ngia well a group. The more the discussion groups you do, the perfect you become. So long as you're free wa ingianga tu. Na unachangia. Kwanza swali za past paper. Ningetaka tufanye swali za past paper mingi sana. Because of paper zenu, zote zina revolve around your past papers. Zote around your past papers there. Kwanza zima theory. Around your past papers. Yeah, consultations. Personal lessons are also okay. So like now, Kenny, as I go back to my class, where would you want, now you're a senior person here. You're a colleague at this level. Where would you want me to teach you on Friday evening? Kenny, don't you have a small family you would want to buy dinner on Friday evening? Ama we shall overcome. We shall overcome, okay? Oh, they let us know, right? Cannot. You guys. Yeah, ama kupeleka mpo wako out. Permanent out, yes. Now we are colleagues here. You're not like an AFM, AFR student who wants to be in class throughout. No, as much as we want to be serious, but we need time. So allow Mwalimu to repeat how, when I come in my next class, I'll be able to show you guys how to get PVFA, how to get this, because this is an annuity. Here now what I did, I came and said equals, I picked NPV. It doesn't have any initial outlay is 0. So whatever I'm calling NPV is basically present value. So NPV there, tab, and then I come and, ladies and gentlemen, pick the rate. The rate is 10%, comma, then we have value 1 to value 3. So value 1 to, una highlight easy. Highlight zote tatu, all the values, and then you close brackets, and then you say enter. You're able to get this. And this is what you use now here. This is what you use here. like that. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. It has been a pleasure hosting you tonight. So the next class will be on Sunday at 4 p.m. Next class between you and me, the students and myself. And even the old ninjas who joined us a long time ago, when I say it's new students, you are always new till you pass. Sile kiburi. Bidii ita kiburi. Bidii itakutoa kiburi yote. Wewe ni mgeni kila siku. So nikisema nataka new students, only that on that Sunday I would want these old students to take like, that is the only class I would allow you to take a backbench, for me to get more time now with the very new students. But you should usually be in class. I expect to see more than 200 students on that day. So BDA, haitaki ujuaji. We are here. We are here. We are here. Great. Yeah, we can use PV directly. I'll be able to show you, Emily. Yeah, for regular, you should use PV. It's only that you can't introduce, Emily, in this pedagogy of teaching, you can't introduce so many things at the same time. If you introduce, like now, this ninja is a very good ninja. He is even, organizing this thing better than me. At the end of the semester, we shall be competing on who is able to format. These are the kind of things you should be doing even in your discussions. Because, like, if you look, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, Peter, work is very good. If you drop it a little bit. Yani kama kuna paper, ukienda ukionyeshwa, because we also go to complain, because never been, you guys are failing our students. Unaambua mwalimu jameni, hata kama una time ya kumaki makaratasi, kuja uangalie hizi vitu hizi. Unafunguliwa Excel sheet, tena angalia. Hiyo ndio unaona ile madhogodhanio. Ile madhogodhanio yote inaweka hapo. Yaani hata ufuati kazi. So this is very good, Kevin. Uwezi fuata kazi. No. So please, we must be able to organize. Like, what this ninja is doing here. Writing questions on top there, question number, etc. Lazima ukuwa unajua vitu kama kuna mwanafunzi anasoma the whole semester na hajui kusave kazi. Hata anaenda pala kwa exam, kama sasa nilipita hapa juzi nilipita hapa akifanya exam, what is this name of this center? Unakuta mwanafunzi anaambiwa write question 1 kwa Excel worksheet. Hapo chini kuname ka Excel worksheet. Ati hawezi name na class throughout. Those are the kind of things I would want to be seeing you guys naming your workbooks. I would want to be seeing you guys naming your Excel worksheets very well as we continue. Some of those things will be best done in your group discussions. So when you are doing something in your group discussions, and then you happen to be knowing something, don't be, in this case, that kind of a student who is stingy with information. Give your colleagues as much information as possible, and you will be blessed. You'll be blessed. Otherwise, thank you very much. Happy Friday. Take people out tomorrow. Take people out tomorrow. The course outline is online. I'll be able to share. Thank you. I will be able to answer that today. I've had quite a marathon from 6 p.m. I would want to take a break, Joseph, if you don't mind. Let's discuss most of the things in the group. And then you'll have to appoint like a class rep. You must appoint like a class rep. So that this class rep, if I'm not able to see things on the WhatsApp group, the class rep can reach out to me. We need one person who can be dealing with Mwalimu very fast, who can be organizing also people to get videos on the LMS, etc. Yeah, you go with your laptops, where Janet? You go with your laptops. I can see Janet, you are I can see Janet, you are a generation Z. Unasema exam ile ya EZ. Exam ile ya EZ. Kama wengine wanasalimianga salamu zingine mbaya kwa WhatsApp. Una salamu imeandikwa naona huyo amenichukua kama mimi kijana mdogo. Amenichukua kama mimi kijana mdogo kwa sababu lakini I'm able to understand because it is generation Z and ourselves now the old people. Thank you. Our solutions are missing. We shall overcome. So thank you. Of course, the ones who are following me on YouTube, never ever forget to subscribe to this Ninja's channel. Thank you. I'll appoint.